Welcome to the Grizzled Geek in Review for December 22nd. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And we're here with your weekly wrap-up of all the nerd news. Wow. I mean, this is post Star Wars Last Jedi, so pretty much if the internet is all Star Wars Last Jedi news.
Yeah, it's very true.
But they're already, despite the super success of The Last Jedi, there's already people looking forward to the next Star Wars outing, which is Solo, which will be out in May.
Right.
And we've got a little bit of... So far we've seen nothing. This movie's out in May. There's no trailer for it yet.
Right.
Right? We haven't even seen, official teaser images or anything else.
Right.
And so far the only narrative of this movie is that it's been in trouble.
Right. And then, Ron Howard had to reshoot.
Ron Howard had to reshoot. We had no idea how much he had to reshoot, We know some actors got cut, some new ones got brought in, and one of the new ones was Paul Bentley, Vision himself.
All right.
And he had an interview where he dropped an inordinate amount of F-bombs in the interview. So it might be him getting into the role here. He called the Solo movie a gangster movie. An intergalactic gangster movie. He plays an intergalactic gangster, which is probably why he's dropping so many F-bombs getting into the role. He was quoted as saying, it's effing Solo, and of course his story would be a caper. So it sounds like it's going to be some kind of gangster crime underworld.
Right. Which
caper.
I guess is good. You would hope that there would be, a la Ocean's 11 or something along those lines. Him and, Lando got to get into some nefarious goings on.
As long as it has the Kessel Run in there, that's all I care about. Also, he confirmed that Ron Howard has reshot a lot more of the movie than was originally intended.
Interesting.
So he came in here, and once he started reshooting, started making some changes.
Yeah.
So he, punched up the story somewhat and ended up reshooting more than what he was brought in to do. So
that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So this is going to be more of a Ron Howard movie than we initially anticipated. So.
Right. Okay. All right. More will he, won't he, Affleck Batman news.
Oh my God.
After confirming that he's not going to be in the Matt Reeves solo film, Affleck says he still wants to direct a Batman movie, but that he, opted out because of the script. So now he's, kind of throwing that back out there that he'd like to do Batman. And he also suggested, or at least implied, that he would evaluate a return to the role. So that's interesting. Maybe he will keep the cowl at some point. I don't know if that ship sailed or I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know. This seems to me, I don't know. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm done with Affleck as Batman at this point. He made a great Batman.
Yeah.
But I'm just sick of him. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
I want to leave. I don't want to leave. I want
make a decision.
I want to direct it. I'm like, I want somebody in the role that's actually that wants to be in the role. Somebody who wants to play that character, right? Now, Ben Affleck's very talented, right? And he was really good as Batman.
Yeah.
Right? I would like to see him stay as Batman. But if he's going to stay, commit to it, right?
Right.
I mean, there wasn't any, Christian Bale wasn't all like, man, I don't know if I'm going to do the third one, or I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe I won't. So, I mean, this sounds like, I don't fair weather. Yeah. I mean, okay, people didn't totally hate,
well,
Justice League. Well,
it didn't do great.
It didn't do great, but
it was a good movie, but it didn't do well, which is unfortunate. So
yeah, we'll see what's going on. Anyway,
all right.
Mark Hamill, who was amazing in The Last Jedi, seems that he's still not made peace with the Last Jedi movie.
Yeah.
Well, we know before the movie came out that he was saying he disagreed with the direction Rian Johnson's going.
Right. Yeah.
And he elaborated a little bit more on that. He seems like in all the press tour that he's been doing for the movie, he's really, I don't know, was outspoken about how he felt about the character, and definitely thought it should go in a different direction. Some of his quotes he said is, I said to Ryan, Jedis don't give up. I mean, even if he had a problem, he would maybe take a year and try and regroup. But if he made a mistake, he would try and right that wrong. So right there, we had a fundamental difference. But it's not my story anymore, is what he's saying. So basically, he's right there. He had a fundamental difference with the way Rian Johnson was going with the character.
Yep.
He went so far as to say that this wasn't his Luke Skywalker. You know? He's saying that this is the next generation of Star Wars, so I almost think of it as think of Luke as another character, maybe Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker, but if I had to do what Ryan wanted me to do to serve the story well. So I mean, that seems.
Yeah, that's.
This is the crux. Sadly, this is all this is give fuel to all the people the haters out there,
Right?
Who didn't like the movie. I thought it was great. He was great in it. I kind of agree with some of the things he's saying.
Yeah.
But they went in a different direction with this story, and I mean, it worked. So.
Yeah. I mean, you can agree with what he has to say here, but the finished product that he came up with, he did a great job. So, I mean, I think that's partly his presence on screen. There are some things that happen in there that you're like, I don't know about that, but overall,
yeah,
I like the movie, but I can agree with him on this.
Yeah,
there are some things on here that are like that really didn't feel like Luke, but there are some stuff that definitely did. So
yeah,
it's interesting. It's an interesting line to walk. But all right. Once again, Warner Brothers has banned the use of Deathstroke on the Arrow show. They, again, with their movie stuff. This leaves the plot of Slade's son dangling, and the reasons have to do with the current movie plot, with them using Deathstroke in the cinematic universe.
This is just dumb to me. I thought they were past this. We have two Flashes running around.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they already firmly established that the TV universe is different.
It's separate. Right.
So I don't know why they don't.
The TV universe is so good, and it's firing on all cylinders, and your movie universe isn't. So
yeah, why are you going to hamper it? Yeah. I'm like, why confuse people? Oh, there's two guys with the orange and blue mask.
Yeah.
There's two Flashes. I mean, come on, it's
right. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me, but.
Right. Well, Warner Brothers has not shown the best judgment with their superhero properties. So
yeah, and they've been reactionaries from the get go. So they, instead of planning it out. So
yeah.
All right, we'll see. We're moving on to our shorts. These are just like quick little snippets of.
Right.
I have to go into a whole lot of detail. First off, Paramount Pictures sets release dates for G.I. Joe, March 2020.
Okay.
Micronauts, October 2020. The D&D movie, July 2021, and an untitled Hasbro event film in October of 2021.
All right.
Now, I got to say, I mean, a good D&D movie is long due, right?
That'd be cool.
There's no word on whether or not the G.I. Joe movie is G.I. Joe 3 or a reboot.
Or
whatever what they're doing with it, but G.I. Joe deserves a good movie.
Right.
And I got to say, if you're not familiar with Micronauts is a crazy story. Like, they were a toy line before this, but if you read the comics back in the day, it was some crazy concept, high sci-fi stuff. I mean, it was a big long story before they even got to our world. When they got to our world, everyone remembers them because they're small. They got to our world, they're tiny.
Right.
But the comic followed a storyline of these characters before they got to Earth, right?
And never read it, so
I mean, I think out of all these, it has a potential to be, a crazy story. And
interesting.
And the untitled Hasbro event film, this is probably, their shared universe thing. They want probably a mashup of something. G.I. Joe, Transformers. That's the big one. Or ROM Micronauts, like in the comics.
Yeah.
So who knows what that one's going to be? But I guarantee you, it'll be a mashup.
Yeah. So. All right, Star Wars: The Last Jedi has crossed the 500 million mark. It's and I think actually I heard 560 million. I think was the final total on Wednesday. So it is rolling along. Doesn't really have much in the way of competition through the holidays. So I think it's going to keep trucking along for a while. I mean, you've got some Christmas movies. You've got The Greatest Showman. But otherwise, I don't know that there's anything big coming out this holiday season that's gonna contend with it.
Not really. I mean, there's a few things opening up, but nothing with the legs of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this should keep barreling along. We should hit 1 billion within a couple weeks by the end of the year, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 8 days to get to another 500 million, 400 and some odd million. Yeah, I think they can do it.
Possibly, yeah. Especially if they keep the theaters packed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go to the movies over Christmas, over the holidays break. So yeah, we'll see. All right. The Gambit movie is still on track despite the Disney deal to acquire Fox. This is a movie that was supposed to come out in 2 years ago.
It's been in
It
development
was
for a while.
start development in 2015.
Yeah.
We're like a year past the release date, I think, of the initial release date. But they say it's back on track with Channing Tatum, and they have a budget listed of $155 million, which is a big budget movie, which just puts it up there with X-Men Apocalypse, and so.
Hopefully we'll see
For
Mr.
Gambit,
Sinister.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's a lot more. Sinister.
Yeah, I think maybe they go with the Mr. Sinister behind the Mutant Massacre kind of storyline.
Well,
Show his kind of dark past.
They'd have other X-Men in it then, you figure.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. We don't know a lot about this movie at this point, so there could be.
Despite being years in production.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Matthew Vaughn is looking to save the DCEU. Wants to team up with Mark Miller on Man of Steel 2, but Miller's exclusive deal with Netflix prevents this from happening.
Yeah, he's been pitching around several ideas. They want him to come in and direct something. Although some of his quotes, I'm not sure. He was quoted as saying, like, you need to come in here with a fresh take on these characters, a different take. You've seen the Dark... Dark Knight's been done. Maybe take a look at. He mentioned Adam West's Batman.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Now I don't know whether that was a pitch, or he's like, we should do this, or whether it was an example of, hopefully, just an example of taking a different look at these characters and not trying to retread the same thing. See, Vaughn for me is hit or miss. X-Men First Class was amazing. I liked, kick-ass movies. Mm-hmm. The first Kingsman was good, but then you look at The Golden Circle and. It was not the greatest. I mean, him teaming up with Miller would have been amazing because every time they team up, they come up with a great movie.
Okay.
Right? But, Miller's, exclusive with Netflix for a while.
Interesting. But, all right.
All right. Netflix speaking of Netflix, it's already ordered a sequel to Bright, despite the fact that Bright hasn't come out yet on Netflix.
Right.
And despite the fact that early critical review is pretty bad. This movie's getting panned. Like I said, this movie could go one of two ways. It could be either amazing or it looked kind of dumb. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Modern day fantasy. I mean, it's
right.
It had the whole Alienation vibe of Will Smith teaming up with an orc.
Right.
I mean,
fairies and stuff like that. Mythical creatures running around.
So Will Smith says he's on board for a sequel, and.
What else is he doing?
He's the genie in Aladdin, so he's got. He's
true.
on the verge of making his big comeback here for.
Yeah, we'll see.
10-pole star. Although I don't think Bright's going to help him get there, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, maybe.
But right now, as of now, we're getting a second Bright, whether you like it or not.
Right. And in Nobody Cares news, this might be the symbiote for Venom.
Right up here.
Yeah.
Maybe. We don't know. It's not official. It's unconfirmed.
Yeah. Nobody cares. No one cares about this Venom.
Doug loves Venom. Yeah. All right. Well, guys.
That's it.
That's the news for the week. Kind of short this week, but I'm going to post Star Wars. Pretty much everything on the internet is Star Wars news right now. If you haven't seen it, go out and see Last Jedi. Help get to that $20 mark.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
It is good.
No, despite the hate out there, it's a good movie.
Right. And we're going to be releasing a video soon where we discuss the hate that it's been getting, where we go over, break it down, what people have problems with. Review number two. So keep an eye out for that. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Share the video. If you want to support the channel, you can do so through our Amazon affiliate link down below. Anything you purchase helps out the channel. If you want to help us out directly, we have a link to our Patreon down below where we have a growing community of people enjoying early access to our shows and behind-the-scenes stuff. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Have a happy holidays. Merry Christmas.